Madam Pauline,
Yes.
do you have a routine that you follow every day?
Yes, I do.
Tell us about your routine.
One of the things I do each day is to continually improve on myself. And how do I do that? I read
You read.
a lot.
They say Kenya is not a reading nation. You're not among those Kenyans.
No, I try to read at least 3 pages to 5 pages of any material that will help me improve.
Okay.
One, from a professional perspective, from personal perspective, and also the spiritual aspect.
The spiritual, that's nice.
Yes. So the key thing is to keep improving self.
Okay.
So that is the reading, and of course I love nature. So I always try to do something that is aligned into nature, either gardening or just taking a walk into a green space. Yes.
Awesome. Now back to business and customer service. People have businesses and maybe they're wondering, what tools can I use to improve customer service and business performance?
All right.
Yes.
Very important to keep checking that with you.
Yes.
Keep asking yourself, as a business, first we've talked about understanding your strategic goals,
Yes.
your why.
Yes.
We've talked about assessing the customer. And we've also said we need to check at the end of the day, what is the value that you want to gain also as a shareholder. So what are these tools that will enable you to keep in check with that? Number one, we need to check at the metric of, when you're evaluating the financial aspect of this business, what tools do I need? Set out KPIs for the business.
KPIs.
When we talk about KPIs, we are talking about the key performance indicators.
Take these notes. KPIs, key performance indicators. I told you at Anza, we learn.
So on the key performance indicators, these are the key indicators that will help you achieve the results and the outcomes that you're looking for your business. Now, they still flow back to the revenues that you're looking for, the profitability that you're looking for, all that covering the financial aspect of it. We also want to assess what are the feedback. We talked about for you to build a good relationship and loyalty with your client or with your customers, we need to keep evaluating. So which are the monitoring and evaluating tools you're using to check that? Yeah? Go back again and assess. If it is the customer, how do we get feedback and insights from the customers? Do you do questionnaires? Do you go to your social medias and check what are the analytics saying? Do you do personalized messages to assess what your customer is saying about your business? Or how do you check this feedback? So be clear, again, because you've already understood the demographic of your customer, use the right tool that fits the demographic of your customer.
Okay. So they should use the same KPIs to measure the effectiveness of their customer service?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, on the KPI for your customer service, we had looked earlier on at some of the aspects.
Yes.
We had looked about on the insights and the data from a customer satisfaction perspective. We had also looked at the retention perspective. There's also something else we call the Net Promoter Score. What does that mean? So you ask yourself, how many people are speaking about your brand? How many people out there are promoting your brand to other customers? If it is not happening, you need to assess that and ask, what could be the gaps? What are the areas that we need to improve? One of the key things I encourage most of us as entrepreneurs is to always keep assessing and evaluating your business as every area of your business performance. Keep checking that, because we said for you to be successful, you need to do a continuous improvement every now and then. Things change, industry dynamics change, market dynamics change, local market conditions will change, political, changes will come in. Like now we are talking about the taxation. When you look at the taxes, how is it impacting you as a business? And remember, when we are looking at these taxes, whether you're in the kibada, whether you're in the mid-level business or you're in the mature business, it will impact you in one way or another. So check, go back and evaluate. So if this tax is going to increase the cost of production, that means my products will go up. How do I communicate that to my customers? Because you need to go back to the customer and tell them, look, we may be affecting price changes. How do you communicate that? And timely. Be proactive. Don't wait for the customer to come and check with you. Be proactive and inform your customers well in advance.
We're talking of communicating with customers. There's the issue of keeping the customers' data. What are the basics? Should we just should businesses always record phone numbers for these customers, their emails?
The issue of data.
Yes, the issue of data.
Yes, has become very thorny.
Yes.
And we know that the government has already set up the data protection. There's an authority that deals with that. And now that conversation of holding customer data has somehow changed. And it is as a business, you have to be very intentional and careful with what you're doing, because it has to align with the regulations that have been set up. Now, what do we need to do? Yes, we will need to collect, sometimes we may need to collect this information from our customers. And one of the key reasons why we collect information from the customer is not for us as a business to keep that information, but it's for us to help us improve on the service that we are delivering. And how do we improve that? Once you have a client data, you're able to understand, how do I personalize service for this customer?
Yes.
And it helps you to exceed the expectation of the customer by personalizing this customer that you're given. Now, back to the basics. We have said we need to operate within the regulations that have been set out. So when you're picking data, inform the customer that we are actually taking your data and we are taking this data for what the reason. Explain to the customer, ask for that consent. If you'd want to be sending out like newsletters, or you'd want to be sending out text messages, just to remind them that, no, hey, we are still here, we have offers, we have discounts, we have a new branch, we have new products coming in. Get the consent from the customer. Now, once you get the data from the customer, again, from a business end, you need to secure that data. So what does it mean? If you already have a system that's able to store that data, let it be well secured. Know who has access to this data. What are they doing with data? Let that policy be clear and signed off. If you have teams in your business, know who does that, who has the right to access that, and what are they doing with the data. However, with some businesses, they outsource a third party who do the data storage for them. You also need to be to have those contracts very clear that we are only supposed to do X, Y, Z with the data of the customer. There's a confidentiality part into it. So be very careful, be very intentional to operate within the regulations set out, and know who is that. And the last one, the key one, empower your employees to understand these things. Why do they need to be careful in the way they utilize the customer data, and what will be the consequences should there be a breach of the data policy or the data usage? What happens?
Exciting. Madam, we are almost moving towards the end of the show, but you'll get a chance to give your parting shot. But before that, let's have some fun. If you could sit down with a business leader, who are you choosing?
Very interesting.
Yes. Who are you choosing?
There are very many successful business people around, but there's a particular one that I really admire. The CEO and the founder of Equity Bank.
founder and CEO of Equity Bank, Mr. Mwangi mwenyewe.
Mr. Mwangi mwenyewe. And why is that? When you track back and look at where equity began,
Yes.
I want to call it equity. Like he calls it. He
Yes.
calls it equity.
Equity Bank. Yes.
Equity Bank. So when you look back and track, where did Equity Bank begin? It started as a building society.
Yes.
What was happening then in the banking sector? You know, the people who are in the bottom of the pyramid were not privileged to have access to these financial services.
Yes.
Mwangi came and saw these people need to experience the same service that these affluent people are receiving. He came and changed the conversation, the landscape of the financial sector, and everything just changed. He brought in a human face into it. And that's what I like about it. There's a human spirit. I love people. I love working with people. And so when I see that as a model that he came to introduce, and it went down and impacted even all these other financial aspects, I would want to sit with him and ask him, how did you get it so right?
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Mwangi, whatever you are, someone wants to have lunch with you. The funniest customer service you've ever experienced. The funniest.
Wow.
Yes.
The funniest? I want to go back to when I was in the corporate space before I went into self-employment, and we
Yes.
were dealing with a wide range of dynamic clients.
Yes.
And so there's this one who came and opened up an account in the institution that I was working in, but they forgot that they had opened an account with us, because they already had other many accounts for different purposes. And so one day the customer comes and he wants to do a transaction. So when we asked for the details, and what he provided was not what we were looking for. And he was there, you know, insisting that this is the account that he opened. So after we did the know your client processes, asking the rightful questions and all that, then along the way he said, you know what? I thought that account was hidden at another account, and so I was looking for the hidden account. And by the time we understood what this guy was saying, we had gone round and done so many other checks. It was so interesting because he could not even remember the name of the account that he had opened up.
Okay. Music. Are you a fan of music?
Yes?
Are you a fan of music?
Yes and no. Gospel.
Gospel, eh?
Yes.
Which song is in your mind right now?
Wow.
We can try and sing. Maybe it's something a song that we know.
Great is thy faithfulness.
Jesus Christ, what?
Because his faithfulness is what keeps us each day for those of us who are believers.
Yes.
It is what drives our businesses every day. It's what drives us everything that we do. So great is thy faithfulness.
Fantastic. Now, back to our audiences. You know, our audience, they are watching us, and your experience, you have seen it all. And of course, the journey, you know, you're still moving. Yeah. What are some of the opportunities that they can take advantage of? You know, whether someone is running their own business locally, internationally. What are some of the advantages that they can take advantage of?
I think right now I want to focus on the area of innovation and what we can be able to take advantage of. We know that technology innovation has really hit businesses from every perspective, and with that we need to evolve accordingly. And so there's a place of the AI. You know, the AI has come to change the conversation of how businesses are doing things. Yes, the artificial intelligence. Tap into that innovation. Use those tools to help us improve our businesses. How do we interact with our businesses as we're using the AI tools? Now, let's look, for example, at one of the tools that I will pick on a business, which is a mature business, which is a Kariuki. Sometimes when you're interacting, there's an AI tool they call Zuri. So when you're interacting with Zuri, you feel like you're talking to a person,
Okay.
but it is not a real person. So let's take advantage of those tools and humanize them. Even as we adopting innovation, as we adopting technology, let's also put a human face into it. And how do we do that? When you're programming these tools, then make it conversational, as if, it is just a continuous conversation that is happening. I think there's also the place of agility. Businesses now need to be adaptable. They need to understand things cannot be done in the same way, the brick and mortar way that we have always done businesses, because we need to evolve to meet the dynamics that are happening in the local, regional, global perspective. The social media has come to change the way we do business. Let's take advantage of that. Whether you're starting business or you're already in the business, that's a great space to be able to present what we do as business people and to net into customers here or even outside the world.
True. If Anza was a business, I'm the owner of the business. I rate my customer service. You are the customer. Rate my customer service.
Very interesting.
Yes.
I'll use a scale.
Yes.
Of a scale of 1 to 10.
You want to 10?
1 to 10. So, and I want to look at it from the experience perspective, from when I got into to learn about ANZA, which is not right now, it was before,
Yes.
and how the conversation has been. I'll give a 7.
A 7. 7 is good.
Yes.
So we should work hard on to reach 8, 9. Okoju.
Yes. If I give you a 10, you will not do much to improve on it. But anyway, the experience has been good, and like I said,
Yes.
I want to interact more with ANZA. They have made me feel they need me as a customer.
Yes.
And the experience has been good. They want to understand what is it that you do, how can we help you improve as our customer, which shows me that they are focused on the customer.
Yes. Thank you so much. Right now, you're parting short, but you don't talk to me. You'll talk to them. Say something to them.
All right. My parting shot would be this, is that the business landscape is changing. We need to evolve with it as it changes as entrepreneurs, and realize that success is not a destination, but success in business is a journey of continuous improvement. So let us embrace innovation. Let us embrace agility. And at the end of the day, let's strive to be excellent in the businesses that we are planning to start or the ones that we are already running. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much again, Madam Pauline Modoni, for making time for ANZA. I'm sure they have learned a lot. And when we invite you again, please come. Your wisdom. Ish. And I'm sure out there you're able to learn not a thing or two, a lot. My name is Samuel J. Uwainaina.